Hey guys, and welcome back to the next episode of our New York Knicks MyGM series. Last episode, we did some more simulating, and I said that we would play the Milwaukee Bucks in this episode. But with the amount of injuries that we have, including Carmelo Anthony and Jeremy Lin being out, I feel like a better game would be to play the Bucks on January 14th, which gives time for Melo to come back, for Jeremy Lin to come back, and to get this team chemistry up a little bit as well. Just to reiterate, it's been a little bit. Trey Burke and Iman Shumpert have been put into the starting lineup now that Carmelo and Jeremy Lin are injured. Carmelo's only going to be out for a couple days, but Jeremy Lin has an ankle sprain that's going to put him out for at least 2 weeks. So I want to simulate through at least to the Clippers game right now, get an adjustment, see how we're doing, see how Carmelo's doing without Jeremy Lin, and we can go ahead and look back at our statistics, see what's going on, all the way up until we actually play a game against the Milwaukee Bucks on January 14th, which I believe may be the last time that we play the Milwaukee Bucks this season. It is. So we'll get one last chance. We had Milwaukee this time. We were going to play them. That time we were going to play them. We have 3 meetings, so we're going to simulate up a little bit until January 14th. I'm going to start with the first 2 weeks, and we'll bring it back. We'll go over the statistics and see how our new lineups are faring. So we went 4-2 in that stretch since this Milwaukee game. Some wins against the Wizards. J.R. Smith seems to be the linchpin for this team. If he does well in the game, the rest of the team does well in the game. He shot 14 of 21, 31 points, 7 assists. Carmelo has come back, nearly a triple-double in his return game. Trey Burke with 10 and 13 on bad shooting, but we beat a pretty bad Wizards team. We also had a big game against the Nets. Kyrie dropped 50, but it was not enough, as yet again, J.R. Smith being the linchpin, 6 threes. Amari had a great game, even when Tyson Chandler and Carmelo struggled a bit. J.R. and Amari Stoudemire really pulling through. And the same thing here, except Carmelo with a bounce-back game. Steve Novak poured in a perfect shooting performance, 8 of 8, 5 of 5 from 3, 24 points in 28 minutes. Amari did well. JR didn't shoot well, but we still had a pretty good game. One of our 2 losses against the Blazers, we didn't really have much to deal with offensive shooting. We really struggled from the field. I mean, Carmelo, nothing really over 50% except for Tyson Chandler. Our other loss to the Clippers, Montrezl Harrell absolutely dominated, which is a bit surprising based on the fact that we do have Amari and Tyson Chandler, who are 2 very competent defenders. Steve Novak had another really good game. But our other win against Phoenix, Melo came back strong, Amari came strong. Trey Burke seems to be doing pretty well in his role as our new starting point guard. He's actually on fire. Steve Novak's on fire. Baron Davis is back in the starting lineup. And if we take a look at Jeremy Lin, he is only down to 1 to 2 weeks. So it looks like it's on the earlier end of that 2 to 4 weeks that he went over earlier on. I want to see if there are any major changes. Justin Jackson traded. A bunch of people being traded from the G League. Musa, the Nets traded Dezen and Musa away. That's a bit surprising. Besides that, not much. And I want to look at the free agent pool, because this is a very big free agent pool, including our very own Carmelo Anthony, Tyson Chandler, and some of our older players on the bench as well. I want to try and re-sign these guys at whatever cost. I'm hoping that their potential does still boost them, even Tyson Chandler at 30 years old. But we're definitely going to have to try and re-sign these guys. Tyson Chandler has already said he won't re-sign, and the thing is we don't have bird rights on him, which is going to make it very difficult to re-sign him. But we will be getting that $17 million back in salary relief. Carmelo, on the other hand, we do have bird rights too. So we'll, no question, sign him back for the foreseeable future. And then Trey Burke's been doing well. We'll have to see how the rest of our bench does throughout the rest of the season, just to see how we're doing. nothing picks-wise. I do want to take a look at the standings real quick to see where we are. We're currently the 4th seed. Milwaukee, as I suspected, with an amazing team, 26-11. Philly, Brooklyn, Atlanta, surprisingly, is jumping into the playoff race. Teams that are out of the playoff race, so that's 4 and that's 8, include Indiana with Brogdon and Victor Oladipo. Boston, wow, that is very surprising. It looks like Kemba Walker may be injured, though. And Detroit really coming up the rear with their only decent player, Derrick Rose. In the West, the Clippers, of course, are completely dominating with an absolutely stacked team. Sacramento, surprisingly, is making it into the playoffs right now. Houston is only 18-17 with James Harden. The Warriors with Clay and Draymond back. And also the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz are 2 teams that I did not expect at all to be at the very end. It looks like Rudy Gobert even moved on. Let's go through some of these rosters real quick to see where everybody has gone. Seth Curry, pretty much everything staying the same as of now. Michael Porter Jr. up to an 81 overall. Zion's injured. He's got a broken nose for a couple weeks. Blake Griffin is still injured with a broken left finger. The question for me is, though, where did Boogie now on the Suns, where did Rudy Gobert go? That is my biggest question, because he's not on the Jazz anymore. Let me sort by center, and then we can see where Rudy Gobert is. Okay, he's still in the Jazz. He's just recovering from an injury. Okay. And also, I want to take a look at the season stats and league leaders. Lillard leading the scoring. Bradley Beal up there. No one of note here, to be honest with you. Karl Towns, Ja Morant doing absolutely incredible. Schroeder with 23. Colin Sexton is doing really well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this team does through the rest of this 2-week stretch. We face 4 really good teams. The Lakers, the Jazz, where I think Rudy Gobert may be back by the time we get to that game. Zion is injured, but the Pelicans are still pretty good. And the Miami Heat now without one Duncan Robinson and with our old friend XP Udoh. So let's go ahead and simulate through the rest of these games, and we'll recap them, see what adjustments we need to make, and get prepared for a game against the Milwaukee Bucks next episode. So one of the big things that I want to figure out with this team is, what is our future? This team has a lot of young players. They have a lot of talent, but it's going to be interesting to see how Carmelo develops as our star player. We have a lot of talent around him. I mean, the fact that we have 585 plus overalls, or 4 of them, excuse me, should make this team an automatic playoff contender. But I'm not sure where the lapse is right now. We have defenders. We have some of the best scorers, best playmakers in the entire league. I don't know if it's our bench, but we seem to have bolstered our bench with Novak, Robinson, and Trey Burke. So we're going to have to explore, specifically in this offseason, what we're going to do regarding the core of this team. Obviously, I want to keep the main stars. That's Amari Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony. But to me, after that, Jeremy Lin and Tyson Chandler are 2 players that I feel would be open to trade. Tyson Chandler, obviously, this year said he's going to go somewhere else. We don't have bird rights on him. We can't re-sign him. So I'm contemplating actually moving Tyson Chandler and trying to get a younger player and possibly go to a small ball lineup where Amari Stoudemire becomes our center. And that'll give some more opportunities to JR and everybody to hopefully get some more minutes and help them progress as well. Another thing is how we're going to structure this whole series in general. And I'm thinking until either Carmelo or Amari Stoudemire continue on the serious decline, we'll keep going with the series. I want to see how this team would have played out against the draft classes upcoming, against the LaMelo Balls, the new super teams. And looking back at this team, playing with them in 2K, they're well-rounded. The bench obviously was something that 2K didn't do a great job of, but we've seemed to have solved that issue. So it's just going to be very interesting to see how this team develops in the next couple of years, specifically in regards to Carmelo Anthony aging and J.R. Smith and Amari Stoudemire's development as two wings that we can put around Carmelo. So either way, I just wanted to give a quick update and a quick sort of overview of what I'm thinking. Let's go ahead now and get back to the simulation, check in on our 4 games, and then we can see from there how the Knicks have done. We absolutely blew out the New Orleans Pelicans with a very balanced attack. We didn't shoot well at all, but apparently this Pelicans team without Zion is absolutely terrible. But then we were able to come back and get some revenge for Duncan Robinson against the Miami Heat. And now we're going into this game against Milwaukee. And I'm talking to myself and I'm thinking, how are we going to deal with Giannis? I'm thinking of putting Amari Stoudemire on him, to be honest with you, and sort of helping off with Tyson Chandler. I want to make Brook Lopez shoot threes. That's really what I want to do. And then it seems like the only real matchup advantage we have is Amari in the paint and Tyson Chandler in the paint against their power forward and center. So that's looking like the game plan for us. I want to see how the Bucks are shooting specifically. Okay, they're shooting 36% from 3. We're actually shooting 40, the best in the league apparently. We're also shooting one of the worst free throw percentage wise, but I'm thinking the game plan for this game will be to just feed Amari Stoudemire in the post. Speaking of that, I need to adjust these again so that now we have Jeremy Lin. And I'm going to change this to shoot at will. We're going to limit transition, and we're going to change to limit perimeter shots. Lucas, he's doing okay as coach. Taking a look at the coaches available, Mike Stauffer is always the guy that we want to look at, and I'm thinking at this point, Lucas has had some up and down, so I think we're going to go ahead and hire Mike Stauffer. He's a pace and space coach, which is the type of system we want to run. I also want to replace our assistant coach and replace him with Otis Newman. So now our coaching staff is lined up. We have our best trainer. And also I want to completely round out our staff by picking up Benjamin Moore as our assistant GM. So now we have a whole new staff. We have a new system. I need to replace this and make sure that we have Carmelo, Amari Stoudemire, and Jeremy Lin playing through our star. And at this point, I think we're all prepared for our game against Milwaukee. Everybody is back and healthy, including Jeremy Lin. So without further ado, guys, thank you for watching. I know this is a bit of an inactive episode. I just want to get everything prepared and set up for the rest of the season. Next episode, we will be facing off against Giannis and the Bucks, hopefully taking that season series. And until next time, guys, I will see you against the Milwaukee Bucks.